one is different, and the reason I'm raising this one with entrepreneurs, it's actually come up a few times. And it sounds dry, but it's one of those things that you just have to sort of sit back and go over when you're dealing with people, because very frequently entrepreneurs are setting up their businesses in a business entity, which we've all come to know and love, called a limited liability company. Now don't fall asleep, Jeff, just stick with me.
LLC.
Right. So the issue becomes now for entrepreneurs either investing in one or going into a partnership with other people in one is they really don't know what it is that they're investing in. They think it's like a corporation. It's not. And I'm not going to deal with the tax side of it or anything along those lines. What I'm dealing with is basically the types of controls that they need to take and keep in mind when they're doing this type of investment or they're getting together on an LLC. It's amazing how many times people go into it and don't read it. To give you an example, Jeff and I were working on one where we came back and we read it through and everyone's going, did it really say that? Did it really say that? I couldn't have said that. We didn't agree to that. Unfortunately, once it's all signed, you're actually stuck with what you got. The interesting thing is, I literally had one come in last week that sort of gave me a roadmap of things to raise when you're looking at investing, because it was amazing. And actually, it was a quite sophisticated LLC. And it was amazing the things that were in it, and even the people who were part of it didn't realize that was in it. The first thing is, when I was looking at it was, believe it or not, someone said to me, if you want to look at the things in an agreement that are the most important, they're like financial statements. You start at the end. Financial statements, you read the notes. The notes are great. I've heard balance sheet financial statements are referred once as to a swimsuit, because what the financial statements themselves hide in the notes is fascinating. So what you need to do is the same thing. So you start at the very end, and I pointed out to everyone that they were talking about the deal points and everything like that, and I said, yes, but you realize, of course, that this operating agreement, which is the partnership agreement for an LLC, can be amended by a majority vote. Therefore, if you are a minority investor in one of these things, everything you thought was going on in your deal can be changed the day after you sign the document. Oh, we really didn't mean that. Of course, that wasn't the case. We need to change it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So we have to deal with that one. The next thing is that people are getting together and you're sort of looking at the situation, and I say, there's no non-competition agreement in this thing. In other words, you can invest in something where the guy who you just took the money from can go and leave and then do something else the next day and leave you behind. Something to make sure you've got built in there, because it's the type of thing. The next thing gets to be even more interesting, which is you invest in an LLC or other type of agreement. You get your percentage of what it's going to be. What happens if they want to sell more interests later on? What happens if they want to sell it at a lower price than you put your money in at?